Good evening and welcome to a special edition of the Championship Review. Actually, we're looking back on the Boxing Day fixtures across this past week as well. We'll look at some key games as well between Friday night's game between Wrexham against Sheffield United, and especially yesterday, last night's game, including all the early games as well. Coventry at home to Swansea City, Watford went away to Leicester City, Middlesbrough was home against Blackburn, Southampton went to a manager's Oxford United, as well as Sheffield Wednesday against Hull City, and also Bristol City had a triple away to West Brom as well. So let's bring our guests in today. Good evening to Stefan, Michael, and to Annie. Good evening to all you three.
Good evening. Well, we'll just pretend I've not seen Carl today virtually. It's already, but we'll talk about the Saturday show. Well, I'll ask Stefan and Annie while they're here. Did you both have a good Christmas?
Yes, very good.
Not bad, yeah, pretty quiet.
So please tell me,
Pretty
did you
quiet
do the tradition of overindulging on turkey and all the trimmings,
Yeah.
or whatever it is you like to have on Christmas Day?
Yep. Done all
Annie?
that.
And he's like,
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, come on, mate! It's 1 year that you. It's a 1 day you should overindulge yourself.
I kept it.
I mean, to be fair to him, he did have his glass of red wine before coming on here, so I think he's spreading the indulgence across the festive period as a whole, not just Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And hopefully there will be someone's going to be in the chat. A certain Leicester fans going to be in the chats. Can we see that in the next hour?
To be clear, do you mean at the start, or do you mean as we're about to finish?
Depends. Maybe one of the
Or in the middle after we've spoken about his game.
Probably, yeah. That is.
Well, so we just get on and go. And so, Leicester, shocking. Discuss.
And he's going to bring the word "okay" up again. That's what
it sounds like. It sounds like one of those exam questions. Like you just go like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how shocking are Leicester City this season?
You have
get multiple choice answer.
Yes.
And then Ant will just put none of the above. It's worse than that.
Yeah. Yeah,
honestly. I can just go, Annie. Ant. How enjoyable is this season for you? Shocking. We're stuck here. Forest could still stay in the Premier League, and Coventry could be going up to the Premier League. I hate football right now.
But he's on loan at Stadium Light. He might be happy with that.
Well, apparently so.
Are you going to start it on a permanent basis then?
Yeah, well, first of all, I've been used to us being well below Leicester in the pyramid the last few years, so it's very weird being the other way around at the minute. So, yeah, we'll wait and see. But yeah. It wasn't just him, though. Annie, I remember when we drew against Arsenal, Annie apparently celebrated both Sunderland goals that day like Bristol City had scored them. So clearly I've influenced both of them far too much. So my apologies to the pair of them.
I'm any underdog I am cheering, so Sunderland.
If that's the case, did you cheer us on 2 weeks ago against the Unwashed?
I didn't cheer you on, but I was intrigued by the game, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I did let out a little ooh when you did score. So
you mean when Nick Baltimore scored for us?
Anyway. Yeah.
Cheers, Big Nick. Cheers, Big Nick. But there you go. No, anyway, but yeah, no. I'd imagine I'll probably give him a message in the group chat, but he'll probably not come on to the very end.
Yeah.
Right, let's do a pile-on. Do a pile-on.
Or hour later after the show's done, like, I haven't messaged in yet, so.
Hang on, because I've just seen you put in the group chat you coming on.
I have gone.
And we mean not leave it till the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? Since in our group chat on Twitter, the problem is we used to know who's seen our messages. Now we can't. So it's bloody hard for us to say who's, yeah.
And that's the thing.
That's why I know with Stefan created a Facebook group chat, and you did the same as well, Michael, on the WhatsApp group chat as well. So we kind of realized.
Hold on, right? WhatsApp. Where's WhatsApp?
Because in a way, if we were able to see him, we can get his ass out of here.
These chats, boys.
Aye, well, exactly. So
it'll be funny to see if I can be added in.
Yeah,
to get all lads added in, to be fair, because Twitter's going a bit up the Swanee at the minute.
Exactly. That's why I think most of us are now doing it on both Facebook owns both Messenger and WhatsApp. So in a way, yeah, it does.
Instead of talking about situations that are not going to happen, i.e., Ant coming on, can we just get on with the Championship and talk about things that have happened and why happened?
Okay.
He just wants to talk about how mint Bristol City were.
Yeah, I know. We'll
which is fair
leave
enough,
we'll leave both yours and Stefan's teams later on in the show, right?
Can I just say to Andy though? Did
Stefan won as well.
you go to West Brom on Friday or yesterday?
No,
I thought you would have
no,
done.
I did not. No, I thought I would have done as well, but no, I didn't in the end.
Or are you
Too
just
much hassle.
thinking if I had gone, we would have probably got beat. So
Yeah, I probably lost about 5-0. Yeah.
do you remember what was it like? You went to Derby and Portsmouth or something, and you end up seeing like 3-0 losses, and like, I don't think I'm going to go to an away game again now.
It was Derby 3-0. It was Stoke 5-1, and Coventry 1-0, which I actually thought was a bit of a win. So I was like, it's not. So it went 3-4, and I thought, okay, we're going to lose 5-0 at Cov, but we didn't, which is good. So yeah, my record's pretty atrocious.
Right, if we get you in the FA Cup 4th round, if we both get there, you can come up to the Stadium of Light, yeah? He's like
5-0
no
Sunderland, yeah.
Yeah, it's great that we've caught nearly 8 minutes. We've barely talked about any
I know.
games.
And we got the first message.
Anyway, EFL Championship.
So anyway, EFL,
and we wonder why the show carries on for like an hour and 45 some days.
I can't imagine why whatsoever.
No, me neither. And somehow me and Doug with our 20 podcasts, we get done within an hour. That's how, yeah.
Yeah, it's because I'm insane. And I probably wobble for about 45 minutes alone. So that's probably why.
Fair point, actually, yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
There's Andy trying to get everything in order, and then there's me just completely messing it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, go on. Which game do you want to start with?
Yeah, let's start off. I will say start off with top of the table, actually. Coventry getting the win against Swansea 1-0 from Mason Clark in the 44th minute. And like I said, Swansea was pushing the Sky Blues very hard, guys, but again, Coventry City stretched the lead up to 8 points after getting the win and their 8th successive home win, which is really good record at the moment for them under Frank Lampard.
Yeah, I think go on, Annie, go on.
I was going to say they're unfunny good at home. Even the tight games, the games they're not playing well in. This one, the one against us, they just find a way to win. And Ephraim Mason Clark in 3 huge games this season, not 3 huge games, 3 games this season, has come up with the difference. He scored the winning goal in a 1-0 win, Stoke away against us, and obviously yesterday as well. So when you have players like Ephraim Mason Clark, Ellis Sims, Haji Wright, Sakamoto, Radoni, who can just get a goal out of nothing. This goal comes from a long throw, because win your game. You don't have to necessarily score 3, 4, 5. You can just win a game 1-0. Swansea had chances, Cov had chances, but this just reeks of a side that's going to get promoted, and they're winning games ugly, and they're winning games when they're not playing well. And if there was ever going to be a sign of Coventry slipping off and potentially not getting in the top 2, they'd lose a game like this, where they're sort of even game. Swansea are playing quite well, and they don't quite make do and quite do enough, Cov, but they do enough, and especially at the CPS, they're a monster. So unbelievable. Again, I think I've run out of superlatives to say about Coventry.
I think to add to that, one of the big things about it is even if later in the season Coventry have there's nothing to suggest they will do this, but worst case scenario, if they had a dip, if they went like on a proper bad run, they were on 51 points halfway through the season. 51 points, like that is. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's ridiculous. It's especially as a non-parachute team, and it just goes to prove dividends about how well ran the club's been. And let's not forget, what was it, just over a year ago, Mark Robins' sacking was a very contentious decision among the Coventry fans. And Frank Lampard, now obviously Carl knows, as I said earlier on the Saturday show, that actually I didn't feel like Frank Lampard deserved the negativity around his managerial career that he was getting. I thought it was a bit unfair. But I think this season, more than anything, and even the end of last season, really, he's proven that he's able to really get this Coventry team going. But as Andy said, the players he's listed off that I've mentioned before as well, the Coventry have at championship level, again, as a non-parachute team, and I know I mentioned that a lot, but it's to emphasise how well they've done. You know, it's incredible. And I mean, what's the points tally you're going to need to get top 2? I think you probably might not even need 90 this year. But even 90 is a good even 90 for me is a good tally to aim for. So what they need in 23 games is 39 points. Sorry, hang on. For 49 points.
Michael,
For
at the
39 points, yeah.
Michael, at the moment, third place is projecting 76 points.
Well, yeah, because obviously
76 points.
Exactly. Well, okay, even more so. Well, if that's the case, then another 9 wins and a draw or 2 does it for them. If that is to go and anything to go by. But
They've given themselves so much room for error, haven't they?
that's exactly it, though. Like, even if they go on a really bad run, they really can obviously give themselves such margin for error. I'll tell you what I find quite interesting, because we mentioned Ant quite a lot, but this is what I found interesting. I think he's going to Coventry away, I think.
Yeah.
So that's going to be funny to see what he's like if Coventry beat Leicester, and then he's just going to go, oh, God's sake, this lot are actually going to go up, aren't they? Which would be very amusing, to say the least. But and if I'm right in thinking as well, obviously Bristol City have just gone into the top 6, but they weren't there at the start of play, I don't think. I think Millwall might have been.
Millwall was, yeah.
So at everyone of this top 6 at the start of this round of fixtures, it's only Coventry who won, I think. So Middlesbrough drew 0-0, Ipswich and Millwall drew against each other 0-0. Preston drew 0-0. Got a lot of 0-0 draws here. And then Hull drew 2-2 at Sheffield Wednesday. So for Coventry, that's as good a weekend. That's as good as a Boxing Day as they could have hoped for, with Middlesbrough dropping points and, Millwall holding them Ipswich to a point.
Yeah.
And I think for me, if you take it right back to the playoff final last season with Narrowly lost out, after that, of course, came the contentious decision to sack or relieve Mark Robbins of his duties. And it just shows how well Coventry have come on, bringing in Frank Lampard, who, let's be honest, didn't have the best track league in the Premier League, didn't have the greatest of times at Chelsea. I think if he's been given more time, but that's a different story to try and turn things around. But it just shows if you're made to manage at a championship club, you're made to manage at a championship club. Excuse me. And I think what Frank's installed at Cov is the mentality that you don't have to win games pretty, you just have to win. Whether it be in the first minute, the 95th minute, the 90th minute, whatever. All it matters is getting that 3 points. It doesn't matter whether it's a lovely goal, as long as it goes in the back of the net. And that is what's happening at Coventry just now with players like Hadjirai, even Mason Clark, Sakamoto, just to name but a few. And I think if Coventry were to come up automatically, and it looks like for all the world they're going to do that and probably grab the trophy at the same time, I think they'll survive very comfortably next season. In the Premier League, I'm calling it they're going to survive.
Wow. Yeah, that's an interesting point. And I think you're right about what you said about Lampard. I think he had to save his reputation after. And listen, the Chelsea thing and pretty much the Everton situation, that was not his fault, but what was going on behind the scenes, as me and Michael talked about earlier on. But Doug King had stuck his neck on the line to bring him in.
Yes.
Especially they had a very good relationship before he came in. It just shows completely this was the right decision made for Coventry and for their future going forward now how the club are in better ownership for the first time in more than 2 decades. And I think deep down as well, and like I said, I think Lampard's learned from probably one of the greatest managers that he played under, which is Jose Mourinho, because Jose Mourinho had that mentality. He came out playing pretty, but he always said, we don't, and I remember Jose Mourinho in his documentaries years ago on ITV. We're not. I don't want us to lose. I don't want the players to lose, but I want us to win. And I remember he was saying that to the Chelsea when he was talking about that in that team meeting the day before a game. And I think he's learned from that instinct under him completely. You could see in his ways he's learned probably from Mourinho over the years as when he was at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Here's another thing, right? Like the game that got on Monday is interesting. Ipswich at the CBS, which is so. I mean, the great, like I said before, Coventry, even if Coventry lost that, they would be, let me get this right, Even if they
5
lost, even if they lost it, sorry, Stefan.
They'd be 5 points clear if they lost it and Middlesbrough were to win.
Yes,
They'd still
absolutely.
be 5 clear.
And if they lost to Ipswich, they'd still be 10 points clear of Ipswich. So Andy's look there kind of said it all. Really, you just go insane stuff. I think even though, like I said, not even the most optimistic, deluded Coventry fan would have thought this would happen. And just to put the date in the diary, because I know how much Ant dislikes them, Saturday, January the 17th at the CBS, Coventry versus Leicester. There we go. Just put that in your diary. And by the way,
Let's just say,
sorry, just very quick. If you look at the reverse fixture as well, Coventry proved they can be ugly as well when they need to be. They don't have all just one way of playing, and then if that doesn't work, they're screwed. They can mix it up when they need to. Sorry, Andy, go on.
let's just say theoretically Coventry do beat Ipswich at the CBS. That would mean, if we're still saying Ipswich are the big contenders for the top two positions, of the biggest challenges at the moment outside the top two places,
And they'd be 16
points ahead of them. 16 points. I mean, come on. I mean, that is surely them top two at least done. I mean,
it would
so
take
yeah,
something
I'm not saying
catastrophically, miraculously, disastrously bad for them not to do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
it's not make or break for Cov on against Ipswich, but it's definitely make. If they win, the top two positions are all but I think done. I don't think
Set in
anyone
stone, yeah.
has the I don't think anyone has the ability that Ipswich do have, sorry, to go on a run that could see them into the top six. But even if Coventry don't lose that game against Ipswich, I think they're gonna be fine. And at some point, Ipswich are just going to be looking at Middlesbrough as the real sort of, okay, can we get second
They have to finish
instead of first?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we'll talk about Ipswich in a second. But yeah, Coventry. I mean, what can you say about them? Just quickly on Swansea, because they've been lost in this conversation, haven't they? That they're really good at home under Vito Matos, and that's obviously a great thing.
Yeah.
Some of their summer signings haven't quite worked out. I'm thinking Manuel Benson is one of them. They're playing well. They're playing better. The away form is horrendous. I think they've lost 4 in a row away from home this season. In fact, every single team. This is exactly the same conversation we had last season, where everyone at home was really good, but everyone away was absolutely terrible. I remember, we got in the playoffs, and we I think averaged just over a point per game away from home. So you didn't have to be good away from home last season, and similar pattern this time around. I mean, Coventry are top of the away league table. They've not hit 2 points per game. They've got 22 points from 12 games. So yeah, I mean, Swansea are a weird one, but I think a bit of a concern for them is all of the teams below them. So Norwich, Pompey, Oxford, all picked up points. Pompey drew, Oxford won, Norwich won. So that's a bit of a concern. Blackburn drew as well. So just need to start twisting that away form a little bit, and then I think they should be okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to add to that very quickly, there was only 2 away wins on the whole of Boxing Day in the Championship.
Yeah, I know.
Which is quite startling, really. And of course, we know that, and I know exactly why Annie's drinking there, but we'll come on to that later, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. We know why. Everyone, if you're joining us, please get your messages in the chat as well. Charlie Jarrett said earlier on that Coventry are walking the league in.
Yeah.
He might be pretty spot on, especially if, like I said, if Coventry beat Ipswich, like what Annie said, I think the top 2 is set in stone, pretty much.
And another thing as well on top of that, what prospects are they going to sign in January now because of the position they're in? Anyone who's like going to help them get over the line are going to, if they say, for example, anyone from, let's say, Leeds or Sunderland, just as an example, right? Anyone from there that isn't going to cut in the Prem, but is more than good enough for top end Championship, especially with Lampard and what he's building. If they came in for them, they'd probably go, I wouldn't mind going there. I wouldn't mind going and jumping on. And that's the thing. Coventry can recruit from a position of strength now, can't they?
Yeah. No, I know you went to Birmingham from Rennes because it didn't work out in Rennes, but it doesn't seem to be working out in Birmingham for Kyogo either. I would like to see Kyogo in this Sky Booster. I think he could do rather well.
I think he flushed a bit more better than he has been at Birmingham. I think Birmingham wasted a lot of money.
Exactly.
And there's a reason why Celtic got rid of him, because they knew he's going to go, and that's why he struggled at Rennes last winter when he joined in last January. So in January, it just shows, they're losing a bit of faith in him completely, and especially I just don't see him get into the national team for Japan for the next World Cup. I really don't know.
No.
For Kov, I wouldn't be surprised if they did deals that were sort of like Enzo Lefebvre-ish last season. Where
I could see that as well.
They're going to go up, aren't they? Let's be honest. And if you can bring someone in who's going to be someone maybe you target in the summer on a loan, and then just sort of integrate them, give them basically a free hit for 6 months.
Do you mean basically a loan with an obligation if you go up?
Yeah. Basically,
it makes sense, doesn't it?
So, exactly. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they were targeting deals like that, for example.
I remember Lampard as a name can attract big players as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Chelsea Academy.
Yeah.
Prospects.
Well, that was what I was thinking of. We made a joke earlier on the Saturday show. Maybe Lampard will just sign any reject from
Chelsea.
And
I think he will. And I think Tyreek George is one of those players I think he could be a big mark, where Chelsea realise that he may not have a future there. And I think if he goes to Coventry, I think he will flourish under Lampard.
Or the other way is, do you do what Sunderland done? I know we came up through the playoff final and things like that, but you do what Sunderland done when they got into Premier League. Spend your winnings wisely on not say a brand new team, but like 50% of a brand new team. Have them all gel together, and you try and do what Leeds and Sunderland are doing this season.
Yeah.
To get top half Premier League football. Now, bear in mind, the last time Coventry were in the Prem was 2002, 2003.
I know.
So, and what's changed since you've been away?
A lot has changed completely, especially they've been away for over 20 years completely. And
remember, they've gone down to League 2 in that time as well.
Exactly.
They've seen their fair share of nonsense, Coventry fans. So
they have.
Here's a comment from Michael. I just want to highlight if this is okay. But I think this might be the season to maybe segue on to the next game. I think this might be the season the two non-parachute payment teams might make the top 2 automatic promotion spots. Only Ipswich Town might throw a spanner in the works. Since Andy's crossed his fingers, how many points of Bristol City off the top?
No. I didn't mean it in terms.
I know. I was taking the mic.
Just genuinely, I think that would be so great for the division. I think to just raise sort of beliefs that teams like us, non-parachute teams can do it. But
here's one for you, Annie. Right, just as a fan of a non-parachute, I'll try again. Fan of a non-parachute team, when I can get my words out properly. Let's say, because I messaged in the group chat. Obviously, spoiler, I know we're not talking about the Prem today, but I imagine Carl was pretty happy at the result of the London Stadium when Fulham won in the last minute against West Ham. What would your thoughts be next season in the Championship if, say, you didn't go up, but West Ham, Burnley, and Wolves all went down for next season?
Don't bother with promotion, mate. Don't bother. Just.
Yeah, it goes into a conversation me and Carl have already had today about the state of the pyramid in English football financially and everything else. But the point is,
you are relying. Sorry, you're gone. Yeah.
No, you finished. Go on. I was going to waffle, so it's fine.
I was going to say you are relying on a monumental screw up by those teams, but you just seen. I guess it's not a conversation for now, but you just seen that Burnley, in particular, in the last couple of times they've been in this division, have been so competent. They've been very, very good. They've got 100 points on 101 company, 100 something like that.
101.
101 and 100, 201 points in 2 seasons. The championship. They've been really good. Wolves have got star quality littered throughout their squad, even if they get decimated in the summer. West Ham. I mean, they're powerful for this division. Whether they've got, I don't know, whoever they've got sort of playing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I do know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But as much as it is good for the Premier League to have 3 teams that are not the teams that have just gone up to go down, for the Championship, you're looking at it and going, right, okay, that's interesting because that might just be a little bit too much for a non-parachute team.
But however, here's a bit of hope for you. Here's a bit of hope for you.
Exactly.
Well, obviously, but so
Okay, more than like the
Ipswich
Latin
is
yours, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ipswich is one a big club for this division, so should be really challenging near the top anyway. But that was a lightning in the bottle. No one expected that. Absolutely, no one expected that. They just blitzed straight
No.
through.
No, it's fair.
Sunderland are very unique because no one has done what Sunderland have done. Where sort of 3 seasons they just
Or go down to League One and be
signed a lot
crap.
of, and as in the young the recruitment strategy. I don't think
I know what you
anyone
mean.
has really done that. So it's just a bit.
It's almost like
It's
the
out of
one
the box,
where we
and
kind of.
Sunderland
It's also one where we kind of didn't spend much in the Championship to save our PSR wiggle room for the Premier
Yeah.
League, which obviously you're gambling on.
and
doing
Sunderland
that.
and Sunderland, yeah, and Sunderland are massive for this division as well.
But
Big
I have to
clubs.
say,
That does matter.
It
sorry,
does. But yeah, I see what you mean.
the way Sunderland have spent their championship money in the Premier League for coming up was just astonishingly good.
Well,
The
here's
way-
one then. Because if you look at it, it's about managing your finances well for
Yeah.
non-parachute teams and about running yourself well. Again, hence Coventry have done what they're doing, and I was
Yeah.
even Middlesbrough. I mean, no, Middlesbrough didn't win. Middlesbrough are also a good example of it, where they've got themselves into a really good position where they've sold at the right time as well, which I think is something that's. And last go, and he's gone already. But yeah, so we'll wait and see. But yeah, I realise we've gone nearly half an hour. We've only talked about one game, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
This is good. Brace yourselves, everyone who's watching. This is probably going to go on for 2 hours. So
Maybe an hour and a quarter, hour and a half at least. So
do a lightning round of all the other fixtures then.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
we'll do
Can you
that.
imagine Andy's here just to like go, oh, well, I'll talk about how many Bristol City were. Right, Bristol City won West Brom. It was a great win. Bristol City went Ryan Mason under pressure. Bristol City back in the top 6. Yeah, done. He's like, wait, whoa, hang on a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
Right.
game do you want to go to next?
We'll go to the Riverside Stadium, and I was just looking at Middlesbrough.
This surprised me.
Yeah, the home hoodoo, Stefan, against Blackburn continued, and as Blackburn Rovers really shackled Kim Helberg's.
Dates
Oh,
back
yeah,
30 years
yeah.
according to this report.
Yeah, it is. And
And
I'm surprised in a way that they couldn't get the win. Unfortunately, when Mo had a chance to score, but he hit the post late in the second half. But I have to say, Stefan, Blackburn have been one of those bogey teams when they're not good, but they get a good point away at Middlesbrough.
I mean, fair dues, but I thought Blackburn's Japanese star, I can't pronounce his name for the life of me, but I thought when he was clear and he ran in and he shot, I was like, how did you miss? It was
Yeah,
either-
it was Osani. Yeah,
Yeah, it was Sandy. And then Morgan Whittaker had a very close chance up at the other end. He hit the inside of the post and it still didn't go in. So I don't know. I mean, I'm surprised because Blackburn have been a bit of a bogey team for quite a few top sides so far this season. We've been a bogey team for Middlesbrough, I think for Millwall, for Preston.
yeah.
We just seem to have a good away record when they go to these grounds.
Yeah,
And
they have. They've been beaten on the last 10 away league games against Middlesbrough.
it's quite surprising where Blackburn are in the championship table. And when they play like that, you think, how are you not higher up in the table? It baffles me. This league baffles me.
That's why it's entertaining, because it's bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's one. Did you see the Hayden Hackney red card that was not given?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, he was a lucky boy not to get sent off.
He was very lucky in that.
Sorry, do a chop, just stamp on them.
It's a bit of
Ref
brilliance.
doesn't see it. Never mind.
It's a bit of brilliance from Hackney, no? It's great. It's great play. The fact that it's happened right in front of the ref as well is
I
insane.
know.
But yeah, I think he's happy. I think he's a little bit fortunate to get away with that. But no,
Just a tad.
yeah. But I suppose good for Borough to keep. Borough, that's 2 games without a win and 2 games without scoring as well. Granted, they were very unlucky not to score against Bristol City, and I haven't watched the highlights for this, but I'm presuming they could have.
Morgan Whittaker
They
did
had
hit the post, to
chances
be fair.
again. Oh, he hit the
Morgan
post
Whittaker
at
hit
Ashton
the post,
Gate at
yeah,
0
in the
as well.
second half.
Yeah, yes. So they're I mean, fine margins, and not too concerned. But I think it's always going to be difficult for Borough to keep up with Cov. If they can just keep their heads above water, above third place, it's fine, isn't it? It's
If you gave
fine.
Borough a
Premier
second,
League.
if you gave Borough a second at the end of the season, I think their fans would be delighted, obviously. So
They're laughing.
Unless they go, nah, should have won the league. But yeah, I think with Borough, so we won't get. It's not a bad day for them, really, is it? When you look at nobody else below them won, and this is a fixture that at home they haven't won for 13 years apparently. Blackburn and home, like that's a really hoodoo fixture for them. So yeah, I think all things considered, it's not been the worst of days for them.
No, it's not.
And it's a solid point for Blackburn as well.
Yeah, it is, especially the last couple of games they had Blackburn before the one against Millwall the other week, before the week last weekend. It just shows they can be such a bogey team where at home or away, but where they can really suck it in to win it, play it with the side. And even if they could have won that game as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Right, let's move on to one of the other teams. It was a tale of two teams in the second. Millwall were the better team in the first half. Ipswich Town were the better team second half. They drew 0-0. Millwall responded after they lost two games on the trot to get a good point against Ipswich Town, but they're now out of the playoff places for now. But in a way, was this the right draw for Millwall that is for Ipswich?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a bad point for Ipswich, to be honest. I think it's a solid enough. Obviously, it's a better point for Millwall than it is for Ipswich, I think. But think again. I mean, Millwall they'd lost back-to-back games before this, so I think it was important for them to just. It sounds mental saying this after 2 losses, but stop the rot. It's important just to prevent that becoming a third loss. And I think with Ipswich, a point at the Den is that to be sniffed at, considering Borough didn't win?
I thought Karen Negu's 1-on-1 strike was ruled out was probably the closest offside call.
It was very tight, wasn't it?
Very tight, yeah.
Yeah, so I think obviously it's one of those territory games. If you don't win, don't lose. So I think both teams will be relatively well. I'd imagine both teams, especially Millwall, would be relatively content with it. You've kept the other team out. Ipswich take a point away from a difficult place to go. Millwall obviously drawn against one of the Year 1 parachute teams, and have just sort of stopped within the rot. And obviously they'll just be cursing that Bristol City overtook them into 6th. But it's still very, very, very tight. So it's a tight. Sorry?
I wonder who Millwall play next.
Oh, yeah. I got it, yeah.
Let's see.
The grudge match.
The Den. There we go.
Is it at the Den?
Grudge match of the century.
Yes, it is at the Den.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's imagine there's a bird called a robin. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bristol City. Yeah. Round two this time.
There we go. Just put a chat there for Annie.
Whoa. Let's stop right there. Closing the gap on Middlesbrough. Whoa. Let's stop.
I mean, to be fair,
you've
closed the gap on them by 2 points, so he's not wrong.
Whoa.
Mathematically, he's not wrong, though.
Stop. Shut up. Stop. Move on.
That's exactly me. If someone sent to me, someone could get Europe. In fact, Annie's been trying to do that exact same thing to me off camera, going, well, you never know what could happen. Shut up.
Yeah.
Stop talking right now.
I've said that to you for a couple of weeks as well, to be fair as well.
Stop talking right now, sunshine.
Absolute lunacy. Get me those playoff positions and I'll be very happy, all right? Top 2. Come on.
Well, you never know, get Eliza Mayanda on loan. You have every chance.
Let's stop right there. Let's move on with the conversation.
You could tell tell Andy's just had too many bridges burned, hasn't he? He's just going, nope, let's just take it a game at a time.
Let's move on.
But yeah, sorry, just to end it, solid enough for result for both Millwall and Ipswich.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I don't think either team's going to be too negative at it.
All right, let's move on to a good win for Watford at the King Power Stadium, beating Leicester City
Right, Ant, where are you?
2-1.
Hang on.
Yeah, where's Andy boy? Come on, Ant.
Come on, Ant, we need
It's your
you.
time to shine.
Yeah, aye, absolutely. Yeah, what a good win
He's
for
probably
what?
hiding under a tree or a bush somewhere.
Absolutely, I know. Good win, absolute good win for Watford.
Yeah,
Old-time Manan's delightful strike, after half time, just before half time,
What a goal.
until a very inconsistent goalkeeper error with Matty Pollitt header, and like I said, Stefan Leicester being on a bit of a
yeah.
struggling form at the moment, but Watford are closing the gap in near to the playoff front.
Yeah, I mean, Watford's in eighth now. That just shows you how tight it is between, say, 11th and 6th in the Championship. It was a really good win for Watford. I thought Leicester were quite lackadaisical yesterday, as they have been for the last couple of weeks. I know there's things going on in the background at Leicester, which probably isn't helping if it's filtering through to the staff and the players. And I think, as the EFL Championship programme said, which Marty Fuentes said is going to turn up this week. And we clearly saw it was one that dug their heels in for a little bit, but then ultimately faltered at the last through that. Well, would you call it a defensive hour or a goalkeeping error or just a good header from Matty Pollock? I think I would call it a slight mixture of all three. It was a good header, but it was a very, very preventable goal. But take nothing away from Watford. They done well, they deserved the victory, and they're now up to 8th in the Championship.
Here's one. I bet Ant would have been like this when Leicester took the lead.
That just screams passing through your phone, Michael, to be honest.
Yeah, just goes, yay, we scored.
It just oozes Leicester passing coming from
Oh,
Anfield.
absolutely. Yeah, you can just go, yay, we're 1-0 up. We're still going to lose anyway.
That goal by Mama is
What a goal from Mama.
what a goal that is. I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Outside of the foot. And you just look at that Watford sort of attacking roster, if you will, and it is pretty good. I mean, you've got Mama, Bar, Kurumgard scoring goals, and you've got Imran Loser in there, obviously, Chak Vedata. You've got some serious attacking quality there. And no surprise, Javi Grazi's got them sort of trending up. Even Petzolano's last 3 games had them trending up. So, Iran Kunda, obviously, as well. He's gone off the board a little bit, but still can turn up in any game. So I think you have to look at this Watford side as serious contenders for the top 6 finish because they've got players to do so. Definitely.
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah, they are.
Again, you can't rule out the parachute team in Leicester, but on the last couple of performances,
Not looking good, is it?
no, it's not looking good for them to even make a playoff place at the moment. Like I say, I know there's things going on in the background at Leicester that's probably filtering through to the staff and the players, which isn't making it a good atmosphere either. But if you're a team like Leicester, you should be able to put that to the back of your mind for 90 minutes and play. It's not like the Sheffield led situation where the club is basically going down because they're not. According to the club, as we reported last week, it was an HMRC issue
Yeah,
or something to do with HMRC, which was preventing them from getting their December pay. But we all know that that's generally speak for, oh, I've forgotten to put money in the bank this week. I'll need to transfer the funds. And if that's not happened yet, I would be very surprised.
Mm. It's a lot. It's so much concern, especially with
Yeah.
Leicester. I think Manchester City is now a little bit more under pressure than we anticipated. I just don't know
Just,
where
just slightly, because
slightly, yeah. It's just I don't know. I just don't know what they can do at the moment, especially what they do in the transfer window in January.
I
Because
mean, I wonder which Marty Cifuentes team is going to turn up next time. Is it going to be the ruthless one or the one we seen yesterday against? Yesterday against Watford.
mm, yeah, I don't know. It's something that's going we'll be debating throughout the season completely as well. Right, let's move on to the next game at Carrow Road. And again, Jovan McKenna scored his fourth time in 3 games to give Norwich a 1-0 win at home to Charlton Athletic, which has continued the resurge under Philip Clement. So they only lost once in the past 7 games, and now apart from safety, and I need another third successful home victory for the Canaries. And McKenna, who is coming after with Josh Sargent, is out with concussion, but he brought the deadlock after 61 minutes.
Jovan McCarmer looks like a really good player, and Norwich have put together 8 points last 4 games, so 2 points per game they've got, and they've played some tough opposition as well. They played Southampton in there,
United.
Sheffield United, and someone else. I'm trying to remember.
It
played
was Preston as well, and
Preston away. There we go. So look, this is not easy by any stretch of the imagination for Norwich, and they've managed to pick out the wins, and they've managed to get points on the board. It's not particularly sort of high scoring, free flowing football, but it's effective, and that's what they need, and that's what they needed when Philippe Clement came in. It's sort of all in, committed, that sort of full throttle football, and it's getting them points, and that's what they need at the moment, Norwich. So yeah, another win, and against a Charlton side who are can be pretty sturdy, have gone off the ball a lot recently, but are sturdy. They were missing quite a few players. In fact, players playing who I thought that's interesting. But yeah, they got the job done, Norwich, and that's all they needed to do.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely, they did as well. And like Charlie said, how many points will keep you up the season? 45, 47. I think barring Sheffield Wednesday, I would say maybe up to 45, maybe a little bit less, depending on how the other results is. Look at the table.
Yeah.
Look at the table right now, projectively.
But if you think about the third bottom, Portsmouth's on 22 points, right? But you have to take into account that Oxford have sacked Gary Rowett, that Norwich sacked Liam Manning, so they're going to have Philip Clement for the rest of the season. So you'd imagine they would pick up a bit. I think you might even be looking between 47 to 50, if I'm honest, because
that's why.
If you look at the teams there, it's really difficult. And Annie said this quite a few times across the season. It's difficult to hand pick for certain 2 teams who you think they're definitely going to go down with Sheffield Wednesday. It's very hard to try to. But I mean, even Charlie, what he's saying there about Charlton, I'd expect Charlton to stay up. We're a bit out of sorts, but should be okay.
Yeah. I think Charlton will stay up. And here's one for you. Obviously, me and Carl know Philip Clement from his time with Glasgow Rangers up in Scotland. And I know that Philip he's a tough manager. And he will work his damnedest to get the best out of those Norwich players. And I think for Philip, it's starting to come true because was that 8 points picked up in the last run of games? So I think Norwich is going to be okay. I think they've got enough to stay up, to consolidate this season, and then next season, if they still have Clement in charge, which I actually hope they do, because he's not done.
You think they would do? I don't think there's any reason they wouldn't.
No, but he's not done too badly with Norwich since leaving the poison chalice that is Glasgow Rangers. And I think that he's finally found a team where he's comfortable, where he can get his ideas across. And I think next season, Norwich would be hoping to make a push for promotion, whether it's via playoffs or automatic.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think especially with Ben Napper was so much under pressure, he had to get this managerial appointment right because he knew bringing Lee and Manning in was a risk. Or after you sacked David Wagner and
Andy
he brought
Ragnell.
as well. And even sorry, even I was saying David Wagner after the playoff when they lost to Leeds before the season before, and they brought John S. Torrup in, and then Jack Wilshere came in, and then Liam Manning. It's just
This was last chance saloon for Ben Napper, wasn't it? Really, where if he got this appointment wrong, then and obviously there's still work to do. They still need to have a good January window as well. But getting Philip come on in seems to so far long way to go, but so far seems to be a pretty good one. So if he's getting that appointment right, then and I've said all along that this Norwich squad isn't bottom three level quality. It might have its issues, but it's definitely a lot better than bottom three as far as I'm concerned. I've stood on that hill for ages, and I think a lot of people would have done so. I've never believed Norwich were really going to go down. But then it makes the question, who else is going to go down then? Because like even Sheffield United, and I don't think they will. But I was surprised I saw they were only 4 points above the bottom three. I thought they were like 10 points clear or something. And I looked at the table, I was like, whoa, that's a lot closer than I thought they were. But yeah, so it's a fascinating one. I think if you're looking at it from Charlton's point of view, they need to they need to start getting the odd points here and there, start getting the odd wins, because they haven't been great form recently. But I think obviously with January coming up, I think it's going to be huge, and I think Nathan Jones will be a big factor in that.
Yeah.
I think it looks like some of the signings that Ben Napper made in the summer are getting better, with showing more under Philippe Clement, which I don't know, probably more of a criticism on Manning more than anything. So yeah, Clement's getting. I had to get that dig in there, didn't I? Clement.
I bet you did.
Yeah, come on.
Clement. Yeah,
Just going to dig at Manning. Shouldn't have left Bristol City, you twat.
he's getting more out of this Norwich squad than the previous manager is, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely as well. I think if they can keep Josh Sargent beyond January, I think they're well beyond to say.
Don't need him. They got was it McCarma?
Yeah,
He's all right.
Yeah,
he's done quite well since he's
It's
come
actually quite good. Sorry to interrupt you, Carl, but it's actually quite good this though, because eventually at some point Sargent will leave Norwich. So if the McCarma's coming in and is going to step up and be, obviously there's a lot of pressure to put on him, but he's going to be close to the ready-made replacement.
Yeah,
It's not a bad place for them to be in.
well, he's actually because before he joined Lincoln City, because he scored 11 goals in all competition last season for Lincoln City. He's on 8 at the moment. So in 20, so he looks like he for 1.2 million pounds, that could be money well spent if
Yep,
if he
absolutely.
continues his running form.
No, absolutely, and that's what I mean, and that again comes back to the conversation we had before about non-parachute teams are able to, basically sign cheap and sell high, pretty much as long as you recruit well enough. So it's just one example of it. If you could sell Josh Sargent, I know they obviously won't want to, but if there comes a point, I mean, there was rumours West Ham were apparently sniffing after Josh Sargent. I'm not sure how much was in that, if I'm honest, but even say for a second if it was true, Norwich could command a really good fee. And then you've already got McCarma who could be replacing him, and then he could put that funds into other areas of the club. This is why I always felt like even the sale of Marcelino Nunes to Ipswich, as criticism worthy as it was, I could to some extent see the argument behind it. But it's just, and that's the thing, they still should have that money to invest, I think, in January. So we'll wait and see one way or another.
Absolutely, as well. Let's move on to the game at Kassam Stadium, where managerless Oxford United win their first game after sacking Garrett, beating Southampton 2-1. Goals from Stan Mills, who scored in the final moments of normal time. But what a stunning strike from Tyler Goodrum as well before Tahura Bellis equalised as well. And Michael, it's a win that was needed for the Oxford, because especially we were a bit surprised they sacked Gary Wright before Boxing Day, but they come up with a good win to try to keep themselves to try to stay up as well this season.
Yeah, no, that was what was needed. I don't think they've won for ages, but actually I think the last game they won might have been Ipswich, I think.
Yeah.
At home a few weeks back. So obviously fair play. How is Oxford are weird? So basically, they don't win many. Oh, when it's a year one parachute team, nah, no problem. Just beat them 2-1. It's fine. So I don't know. It's just a baffling one. I have my doubts still over the decision to sack Gary Rowett. I know the football wasn't great, but I'm still doubting how Oxford going to get anyone that's realistically going to be better. But hey, to be fair, they might have a managerial ace up their sleeve, and if they do, I'll shut up.
It's funny because I think they needed to sack Gary Rowett to hire someone like Gary Rowett. That's what they need.
Yeah, I know what you
That's
mean.
weird, isn't it? But
So hire him again then.
well,
Sack him and then hire him again.
it's weird because I think they do need a championship sort of steady hand, and won't get many better than Rowett, but Rowett just wasn't working.
If you said Michael Oxford, if you even go near Michael Beale, I feel no sympathy for you.
Liam Manning.
Liam Manning. Why not?
So yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting sort of profile. I think they'll be looking at. It'll be interesting to see what they look at in terms of a profile. I listened to Jack Ward, who's a brilliant Oxford content creator. He said they've gone from Manning to Buckingham, who are very sort of passing football, possession on that side of the game, and then they sacked Buckingham sort of halfway through the season after a bad run of results and went, we want to stay up now, short term, and then hired Rowett. I always had my concerns over whether Rowett could do it longer term, but whether or not they now go back to a Manning or a Buckingham type of manager, or they stick with a Gary Rowett type of manager, that pivot, I think, will be interesting to see what they do there.
Yeah, so as well, we'll be interested to see it as well. Moving on to the game at Fratton Park, QPR got a equaliser through Jimmy Dunn after the drew 1-1 against Portsmouth. Tommy Devlin score for Portsmouth as well. And Stefan, a good point for Julian Stefan and for QPR. They're still in the hunt to try to get into the playoffs, but again, they're not too far behind as well. They've really had a bit of a slow start to the season, but they've done well the last couple of games.
Yeah, again, good point for QPR. Not the best quality game overall. As were quite a lot of the championship games this weekend. Actually, it was a bit of a mundane in terms of overall of the outstanding quality that we're used to with the English EFL Championship. But a good point on the board. You can't take it away from either team. It was a point for Portsmouth and a point for QPR. QPR will be the happier of the two, I would think, in terms of making the push for the playoffs. But at the same time, it's a good point for Pompey to keep their heads above the old relegation parapet, shall we say. So, good point for both teams.
Yeah, good point for both teams. Michael, especially with Portsmouth, a bit of a slope at the minute, but with Oxford getting the win, as well yesterday. But Portsmouth are now level on points, but they are two goals goal difference between them and Oxford, but they are a point ahead of Norwich.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that result has put them back in the bottom three, but it's goal difference, and they have a game in hand as well. So I think although obviously Portsmouth being 1-0 up, would be disappointed not to see out the win, especially being at home. And this is a game they would have viewed it as a game and even though QPR are far from a bad team at all, it's a game that anyone can beat anyone. So they would have viewed it as a game they could realistically win. But yeah, I think just to get something was important, really. And I still think that down the line, I still think Portsmouth will be all right. They've just got to really make sure that Fratton Park is, again, I said this before, similar to last season, make it as big a fortress as possible. I agree with what Stefan said. I think QPR will be more content with that. And just as a funny side note, although it doesn't seem he scores many goals, every time I look at QPR's results, I swear Jimmy Dunn is always on the score sheet.
Yeah, I've noticed the pattern, yeah.
He must be one of the most prolific centre-backs in the history of the Championship, because I swear I go, QPR, Jimmy Dunn scored. Oh, Jimmy Dunn, he scored again. Jimmy Dunn scored again. Like
right back, isn't he? Jimmy Dunn?
Right back.
Oh, is he? Well, I thought he used to. Okay, that's me told then. He used to be a centre-half.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, centre back, move to right
Yeah, he can
right
play
back.
high.
Christ, no
Yeah,
wonder he keeps getting forward. Oh well, fair enough then. But no, so I think obviously Jimmy Dunn did manage to rescue a good point for
Yeah.
QPR. I think for Portsmouth, like I said, just keep within the pack, and then I think if they recruit well in January, make Fratton Park a fortress, I think they'll be all right.
absolutely.
I mean, we all know Mr. Jimmy Dunn is Mr. QPR anyway. He's been in QPR for a long time now, so he's definitely Mr. QPR.
Yeah, he is. But
Here's one.
especially they could have lost him, but he signed that contract extension last season as well.
Yeah.
So and as well, since he joined QPR, actually, I think he's scored in total of I'm going to see here 3, 5, 6, about 13 goals across the last 5. His top high score was 5 goals last season. So he's only on 3
Not
at the
bad going
moment.
for a defender, to be fair. Do you know,
Absolutely.
here's a funny one. One of my mates, so I do take the make out of, bless him. He's a good lad. Well, Carl's met him, called Paul. If you remember Paul,
Yeah, I remember Paul. Yeah.
when Jimmy Dunn was on loan at Sunderland when we were in League One in the first year, he accidentally called him Jimmy Dundee instead of
Yes,
Jimmy
I
Dunn.
remember that. Yeah, you told me about
Yeah.
that.
So,
Because
the other two don't know about that. So
he played
basically,
at the season before as well.
yeah. So basically, I just call him Jimmy Dundee in my head every time now because I hear that bloody name. So thanks, Paul, if you're watching. Yep, exactly. And he's drinking to that. Just drink to Jimmy Dundee scoring. But yeah, no, like I said, we'll see what the transfer window holds for both of these clubs. But yeah, I still think Pompey will be all right. QPR for playoffs might be a bit of a stretch, but again, with the league this open, you can never rule anyone out.
No.
Absolutely. Let's move on to the game at Hillsborough with Hull City clawing back to draw 2-2 against Sheffield Wednesday. Goals from Steps Igleson and Bailey Canamatri in the sixth for Sheffield Wednesday, and also Bellamuni and Matt Cripps scored as well for Hull. Again, was this 2 points drop for Hull? To be
Yes.
quite honest with you, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, thank goodness and thank God that the future is looking a lot brighter for the Owls, thanks to their preferred bidder being named in the form of James Beard, who I know absolutely nothing about, but hopefully he'll bring the good times back
He's
uh,
not deaf on Chancery, so he probably will.
to Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, we all know they're going down. We all know their fate's sealed. But it was definitely a case of 2 points dropped in the playoff race for Hull City. Definitely, 100%.
And Mohamed Baloumi. I love Baloumi. He's such a good player.
Yes.
Again, injured, and it looks like it'll be another long-term injury.
That's going to be a huge miss for
I mean,
Hull
because look, I think Hull do have some exciting, very good attacking players, but I think Baloumi might just be in the longer term the pick of the bunch, and not to have him for a few months is going to be brutal. So obviously we wish him good luck, but such a shame because he's had torrid luck
Yeah.
with injury, and
yeah.
you could tell the guy is such a good player. If he's at it, he's going to be a brilliant championship player, and he just can't stay fit, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
2 points drop for Hull. I'd agree with that. They'll circle this one as a win, and with the fact that everyone else around them, well, pretty much everyone else around them, everyone's in the top 6 around them, apart from Cov, didn't win. That's an opportunity to put 2 points on everyone, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, real shame for Hull, and particularly for Baloumi.
The only one thing I would say for Hull that does concern me a little bit is their goals conceded column's quite a bit high. So here's one. So we look at the top 6 and the goals they've conceded. So Coventry have conceded 23, Borough 24, Ipswich 23, Preston 23, Bristol City 25, Hull 37.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a worry. So if they can, obviously there's a caveat that I think a couple of games they've been beaten, they conceded quite a fair few. I mean, Borough scored 4 past them, so you bear that in mind.
We scored 4 past them. Yeah.
Sorry?
Well, we scored 4 past them.
You did as well.
Well,
Yeah.
then there you go. That's another one. So 8 of them came across 2 games. But yeah, I think you might need to tighten up a little bit at the back. But yeah, but they're still, like I said, you are still in a great position. But I agree with that. I think what Stefan and Annie said, or what you guys have said, that was a game they really needed to target a win, wasn't it? And it's not bad, really. They're still 4th, but yeah, it would have been an extra. It would have still been an extra opportunity to get a little bit of little slight distance extra between themselves and whoever's in 7th or against from Millwall. Here's another one from Michael, by the way. Hull City still having a transfer embargo, so they can't recruit in the January window.
That is going to be impossible. So the loan, it's going to have to go for the loan market or free transfers. This is going to be a bit of a tough one.
To be fair though, they had a embargo in the summer and they recruited brilliantly.
Exactly.
So who's to say they can't do it again? And I think their recruitment team was definitely forced sort of to recruit in the way they did in terms of English experienced championship players like McBurney, Lundstrom, Ajayi, just players who are ready to go. And if they can do that again in January and just add a little bit to that squad, maybe add a couple of loan players who can sort of fit in nicely, maybe get a replacement for Bellumi or something like that, they could do something. And they aren't afraid to spend on wages either, are they, Hell? So
no.
Don't know if there's an opportunity for Illa Charlie to go. We could get into the playoffs here, and have an opportunity at crack at promotion because everyone else around us isn't actually that good, and the parachute teams are not particularly
not what we expected.
Exactly, lying the world apart. So there is an opportunity for someone like Hull who I think could well spend in terms of not necessarily transfer fees, obviously, but generally otherwise could strengthen their squad.
But the good thing as well is that they went for loan players. Wages would be covered to a certain extent by parent clubs as well.
Yeah.
So that would help them out. And another thing, there's a phrase in the art of film and media that sometimes art can thrive on limitations. And I think that might be applicable for Hull in this instance, where if they're limited in what they can do, what they can spend, and how they spend the money, whatever money they do have at their disposal, it might bring, like Annie said, if they look at the summer, it might bring the best out of the recruitment team.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very much so, and especially, I think this one is their second to last transfer embargo. I think after next summer, they will after the next summer window, they should be able to sign players. But I think if they get that situation, because of the weapon, I think it had to do with the Louis Barry loan fee as well. That's the reason why they were, they were going to, it was misunderstanding. But like I said, it could, like I said, it's set to last for this window, the next window. If they can continue what they've been doing, it wouldn't be that bad in a way because they have done some good signings, like you said. In the summer, getting Semi Ajayi from West Brom, which was a good deal. Oliver McBurney, Brandon Williams, Darko Gabi from Leeds as well. So, and especially the loan players, the body like John Lundstrom as well, and Joffrey as well. I think they wouldn't worry about it too much as long as they get to do the right deals again in January.
As long as they get the right players in, it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, hands down on that one as well. Let's go to the last 0-0 draw, and Preston are no strangers. They are the draw specialists after they've drawn 10 league matches this season. No team has drawn it in the Champions League after they drew 0-0 against Stoke City. Stoke have lost further ground for promotion. So again, guys, Matt Robbins' side have now just won 2 of the last 9 games, and they were second before last month international break, and now 10th.
It would be weird because Stoke tend to start really poorly and then end half decent.
Yeah.
Imagine this season if they did it the other way around and actually start really well and then they fade off quite a bit. I don't think that'll happen. I think Mark Robbins is too good for that to happen, but it's just a fascinating one to think about.
It is. It is with that way.
Sorry, Stefan was going to talk about.
Stefan, go ahead.
Sorry, Stefan, go for it.
No, I was just going to say it's funny because, as we all know, football is a results business at the end of the day. Now, as we all know, Stoke have started brilliantly and they could finish mediocre or quite poor if recent results continue. However, that being said, even though they've lost the last 9 or 10 games, whatever it is now,
lost ground. Yeah.
They've got Mark Robbins at the helm. Now, we all know what Robbo done with Coventry before he was let go in rather circumstantious circumstances. I think if he's given time by the Stoke hierarchy, he could turn this around.
The thing as well for this game is both teams missed decent chances.
Oh yeah.
It's worth pointing out. And I think for Preston, we talk about Preston being the draw specialist. I think this is a very solid point for Preston.
Especially with Pocket Hegwart, he's still serving his touchline ban.
Exactly. So, and I think, and you know what you're going to get with the Paul Heckingbottom team. They're very difficult to beat. They're very compact. They've got their shape, and they've obviously been competitive. And I suppose, not to mention Tim Sherwood's XG comment too much, but if you look at how they have been outperforming a lot of their data, but they're doing that through being competitive and hard to break down. So I think what's really good is the fact I think it's a good point. I think it's a good point to wait Stoke. I think regardless of their form, I think Stoke have obviously claimed some good scalps this season. They've performed really, really well, and I think you've got to say it's good enough. If you go there, you're solid. You keep a clean sheet, and for Stoke, I don't think it's the worst draw in the world either, given how good Preston and how good and competitive Preston have been so far this season either.
Absolutely, I have been hearing rumours that they have been linked with a potential low move for Joe Peru.
Who's this? Stoke or Preston?
Preston.
That'd be an outstanding signing.
That's what I was going to say. If that is hypothetically, if they do get him, that is a big statement signing from Preston. If they do that,
do you know who I've got a good feeling he might go to? Hull.
I do.
Yes, I was going to say.
I have that's got Hull City written all over it. That
yeah,
Joffrey's in his ear going, come on,
yeah.
Come on, we're shit defending. Just ignore that. We score loads and loads of goals. Go on, we'll do the typical Kevin Keegan style football. We'll just outscore the opposition every week. That is so weird on the same hymn sheet, and it just strikes me of Hull completely. But it's like say for example Mayenda from Sunderland or Peru from Leeds. If they both become available for loan, Championship clubs are going to be queuing down the street, never mind at the door, to go and sign them. So this is where I think a lot of clubs are gonna. You'll see how ambitious they are in terms of getting the big game-changing loan signings. Michael Brown put this one up. Ipswich Town are rumoured to be after Joe Peru.
Yes,
of course they are. They go for anyone who's mint at the top of the Championship.
Well, that would mean Tuba Rakpom becomes available. So,
we'll see.
We have got a message from Mr. Ant himself on Twitter. I'm way too drunk.
Imagine my shock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because Ipswich have already got a couple of sort of number 10-y / number 9-y players who can play that role. So I don't know. Obviously, this is all hypothetical, but Pirot, Mayenda, whoever would be outstanding for anyone.
Wouldn't it be crazy if me and Annie were both right and Hull signed Peru on loan?
It's just Illa Charlie got written all over it. A high profile.
Yeah.
You know when they signed Carvalho and Zarori and Morton in that little pit.
Can I just say, when they signed Carvalho, I was screaming for Sunderland to get him.
I was so
Leeds as well. Same year.
Yeah.
I was so impressed. It was incredible.
What I would say on Joe Peru is, don't discount Disney FC. Don't discount Deadpool United.
Are you by any chance referring to a certain team that may or may not have won 5-3 in a late Championship kickoff the other day?
Yeah.
To
be fair, I wouldn't rule that out, actually.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I think it's a good point.
Or maybe what we could do is just say, as a present to thank Kiefer Moore for helping us get into the Premier League, we'll send Eliza Mayenda to be a strike partner at Wrexham.
Yeah, I also say with Joe Peru, so thank you for
thanks for the big old 19 goals.
Yeah,
but haven't Wrexham already got a billion, jillion, gazillion strikers? So
hang on, who've they got? Kiefer Moore.
Mate, you'll be here all day. You'll be here all day. I'll be honest.
Well, go on then. You go then. Who've they got then?
Kiefer Moore, Sam Smith, Jay Rodriguez, Ryan Hardy, Josh Windass. It's a bit ridiculous.
Here's one then. If we're talking about Peru, right? What's Carl make of this one? Leeds United might want a cash sale for Peru, as they would need to sell before they can recruit in the January window to avoid PSR issues.
That is true. So we want somewhere around about 10 million.
Good luck with that.
Actually, it wouldn't be a surprise.
I'll give you that.
I'm with Carl on this. I don't think it'd be beyond the realms of possibility that
No. I'm not saying he's not worth that, but I don't think Championship wise,
We
potentially
paid
anyone.
£15 million for it.
There is one. The only clubs I could really see being afford to be able to pay that are the parachute payment clubs. Well, maybe not Leicester, but like the other parachute payment clubs.
Maybe not Sheffield United either.
I don't know.
In
Depends.
saying that, though, Wrexham paid 10 million for Nathan brought in from Ipswich.
Exactly. And
We could afford that, no problem.
Sorry. Let me just correct myself. Everyone but us paying £10 million for a player. Sorry.
Breaking news: Bristol City have broken their record transfer fee and have bid £10 million for lead striker Joe Peru on a
So
3.5-year
Sam
contract.
on a short-term contract. Yeah.
Well, exactly. That you're doing that, so you've got the PSR wiggle room to sign Joe Peru for 10 million.
Leeds value to do that 16 million plus.
I think. Let me say this from the Leeds perspective. I don't think we'll get that money. I think it's going to be at least around up to 10 million, at least.
I could see maybe you getting a fee of reaching 10 million, including add-ons.
Exactly.
Like
That's why I can see
7 million up front with 7 million up front with reaching to 10 million add-ons if a team goes up or something.
That's what I think
That's
will
the type of deal I think you'll
the
get.
wiggle room to avoid the PSR issues. But because we are, and I was saying just before we came on, I know the low market is going to be very important for us for Leeds. So if we play it well, especially we might have to sell Joe Peru. And also, I've been hearing that Harry Gray's been linked to move to Man City, but I've heard if he goes, Rico Lewis comes on the other way round, either with low obligation to buy. So Leeds will have to play this low market quite well, especially between us and West Ham now for staying up. So, and I think Peru is going to be one of them, along with Jack Harrison. So that's what I've been hearing.
There's one. Does anyone want Jack Harrison in the Championship?
I'll take him.
Yeah.
I'll take any point.
Take his bloated salary with you, and then we reduce the fee. You could take his bloated salary.
I think that's a concern
You
for
might
Ron
want
Mack.
to also cash in on Gelder. That's true, actually. Yeah.
I think we'll cash him in. I think it will happen.
Is there an option in the loan contract with Hull that he could that it could be made permanent in January?
That's a good
I
question.
thought it was.
I know. Ali said that they can't sign. Like, obviously, I know about the transfer embargo thing, but does that include players who are already at the club on loan, or is that different?
Well, they couldn't sign Gustavo Puerta in the summer, Hull, so
because they had to cancel that deal because of the transfer embargo.
Okay. I didn't think they would have done, but it was just worth asking the question.
There's an obligation in that contract, and
there's no obligation with Joe Gett. I don't think it is. Even though
I heavily doubt it.
Yeah, he's got. We can recall him for loan, but I think he's happy to stay. So that's why we don't see. Yeah.
All right, then. Well, yeah, we'll see. Silly. Well, I was going to say silly season part 2 coming up in about a few days. So,
how's this conversation gone from Stoke 0, Preston 0 to this?
I don't know. Probably talking about Joe Peru going on and they're going to.
Anyway, a good point for Preston.
No, that was it. That was how it did it. Sorry, Annie. It was when the car was going on about Preston being linked to sign Peru, and then we went, it's got Hull written all over it, and then it's going to spiral out of control. Okay. There you go. That's
anyway, a good point for Preston. Stoke have been terrible recently, and need to start scoring some goals. Otherwise, they're now 10th, I think. Stoke, so they're gonna steadily move down. So they need to pick up because they did give themselves a nice buffer early on, but need to start picking up some points and scoring some goals.
Absolutely. Right, we've got 3 games left to go, actually. So let's kick off with the game at St Andrews. A 10-man derby held Birmingham City to a draw in a feisty encounter. Yes, where both teams had their play.
10-man Birmingham City.
Yeah, where both sides had a play sent off. Patrick Amler scored in the 27th minute, and then let's say they went a man down after Joe Rowe was dismissed before his interview, picking up his second yellow card in the game in red, and then Jack Robert equalised, guys, but there was a controversial one that he might have handballed. There was handball. The referee, and like I said, this is why I think VAR may be needed for the championship for those decisions, because the commentator did say, Don Goodman did say, it would usually
wouldn't have been allowed.
It would reverse.
It would have definitely been reversed. I mean, it was a feisty game, very feisty game, and I thought the cross in for Patrick Aubameyang was brilliant.
Brilliant from Ryan Brewster, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he's off the ground as well, so he's like brilliant.
Just a reminder: Derby County signed him for free. Derby County got him for free.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
We got him from free from Sheffield United. I
And
think
how
it
much
was.
did Sheffield United pay for him? Sheffield United paid a club record fee for him.
Was it
5
25 million?
20
From
million something.
Liverpool. So he done amazing yesterday, but I thought, once again, and I've said this, I thought that Kyogo Furuhashi in the Birmingham shirt is not working. It's not working at all.
No.
You think you pay all that money for him, you think, oh, he's had a great pedigree at Celtic, he had a great 4 years at a club. He went to them, didn't work out. The multi-million ownership at Birmingham take a chance on him, bring him in to try and help achieve promotion in their eyes, along with Jay Stansfield and Jack Robinson and the rest. And for some reason, we're now getting a bit of a reality check because we thought, oh, we've got all these millions, we're going to do a stadium up, we're going to do a rehab, nice new stadium eventually, we're going to get to the Prem. But no, reality's hitting in, and they're now finding it tough in the Championship ever so slightly. They're not where we expect to be, I don't think. But for me, it's not a surprise because Championship teams are tough. We have mentality, we have grit, we know how to grind out results. And look at Derby yesterday. Liam Brewster's ball, and for Pajam Young, brilliant goal.
Yeah.
And I think Derby County, out of the two teams, would definitely be happier with the point.
Yeah.
For Birmingham, it was definitely 2 points dropped. And you've got to think for them, when are we going to think, wait a minute, it's not as easy as we thought to get promotion from this league, is it, guys?
Not unless you leave at Burnley and get 100 points, you know.
Exactly.
But yeah, you know, yeah, the points, I think a lot of them were getting. I didn't blame them for getting carried away to a point. They got, what was it, 111 points or whatever it was in the league one year.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to remember, Championship's a lot tougher, and I think that I didn't think they were going to steamroll it as a lot. Well, no, the fans didn't say they were going to steamroll. That isn't fair to them. But there were a lot of them were making work of that. Oh, we'll easily get top six again. And look, they might still get top six. They're 6 points off the top six. So there's, you know, again, it just all depends. I could see them being ambitious again in January. That's another club I could see signing Peru, actually. Maybe Birmingham. I wouldn't rule that out either. But if you're looking at Birmingham, I just think they're doing around what I maybe thought they would. Although I said that, I put them to finish 7th. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think they'll be competitive. They'll be competitive. I think they'll challenge for the top 6, but I don't think they're doing as. I think some of their fans got carried away a little bit too much with how well they.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, you can have all the money in the world, but money very rarely these days in football can buy you success.
Exactly.
You've got to have the players perform consistently week in, week out for 45 to 50 games a season in the Championship. Now, unless you're Super Frankie's Cov, for most teams, that's going to be difficult to sustain that form of consistency. Saturday, Tuesday, throwing the odd occasional Sunday, throwing the League Cup and FA Cup. It's going to be very, very difficult to sustain.
Yeah.
But having said that, January is just around the corner and you can refresh your teams.
I like that phrase, refresh your teams. That's quite funny. But you're right. But hey, you're right. Money these days doesn't guarantee that you're necessarily going to go up. So announce Bristol City winning the playoffs because he says they're not going to spend very much. So that means they're going up then, guys. So
well, here's the thing: Kyogo's last goal, and this was actually on the 11th of January this past year, and it was against Ross County away. That was his last goal. He scored 2 goals. That was his last goal before he made that move to Red. Since then, he has not scored since 11th of January.
Well, I don't think I'm looking at this Birmingham team and going, there's a serious lack of. I do think there is. It's hard because I think there's the conversation about Birmingham has been pretty constant this season. They play a lot of nice, pretty stuff. They work the ball nicely. It's just that final killer cutting edge in the final third that just has been missing all campaign. And whether that's on the attacking players, whether that's on the creativity, whether that's just putting the chances away, whether it's just decision making. I don't know. It's tough, isn't it? So yeah, I think everything is there. The ingredients are there with Blues for it to help for it to click, and we've been saying that all campaign. Really, I've been saying all campaign. They should click, but sometimes it's just not meant to me, and maybe they need to fix things up a little bit. And yeah, again, their away form this season has been woeful. They have been dreadful away from home, so that needs to change. Whether that's a stylistic tweak, being a little bit more pragmatic, being a little bit more using those sort of Damari Gray, Lewis Kumas, whoever it is, Pat Roberts out wide a little bit more. Whether it's just being a little bit more pragmatic, I don't know. But something needs to change because the season. It's not sort of crisis mode yet. I'm sure Birmingham will spend in January again because that's what they've done so far under Knighthead. It's just whether or not they're gonna be good enough to sustain a top six push because that's where they want to be. They don't want to be where are they 15th in the league? They don't want to be there.
Yeah.
No.
They want to be sort of top six and pushing. So yeah, it's a conundrum for Chris Davies for sure.
There's another weird thing. They're as many points off third as they are 22nd.
Yep.
The Championship.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. Right, we're getting down to the last two. We start off with Bristol City. I'll let Annie take the floor with this one. Annie, the floor is yours.
Right, so Bristol City will win, West Brom will pull on. It's a great win for them in the end. Thanks, bye.
Pretty good. Yeah, not bad from us. Opening 22 minutes, shaped the game. We hit them we scored with our first attack of the game, basically, with Mehmeti. And I will say, I complained a lot after the Millwall game where I was, chirping about the referees and decision making and, stuff that went against us. A couple of big decisions went for us, and I will be humble. I have the humility to accept that, and I will say Reece is a clear offside position for our goal, and he's probably interfering with play. And then at 1-0, Anis Mehmeti should probably be sent off. So, yeah, I'm not going to deny that, and I don't think anything should. Well, yeah, I don't think it would be fair of me to come on here and completely ignore those facts. So there we go. So that was 1-0. Neto Borges got a nice assist, and then the second goal is really nice from us. It's a lovely goal, and Borges picks up the perfect ball, edge of the box to Scott Twine. Scott Twine lays it off one across one to Ross McCrory, and it's a nice finish. Just leathers it. McCrory. 2 goals we score. Caveat again. Joe Wildsmith in the West Brom goal. Not great. Not great from him, but we find a way. And then after that, I thought we were relatively comfortable till about 65, and then Albion. I think. Do they miss? I think they miss a clear. They miss a clear header from a set piece in the first half, Diakate,
Yeah.
and then it's another big chance. I can't quite remember. They miss a big chance again on sort of 65 minutes, and then you could sense, okay, if they just find a way to score here, they're gonna be in. Thankfully they didn't. And well, they didn't. They did with 5 minutes to go. Diakate, we looked pretty bad from defending corners all day, but fine. Then they score, and then last kick of the game. I haven't seen the highlights. I don't typically watch our highlights, but they hit the bar in the last second of the game. West Brom. So it's literally the last kick. The ball hits Carlin Grant hits the bar. Ball goes out to Alex Moe, and the referee blows the whistle. So it's heart and mouth stuff that. But look, I said this on my match review. We don't win at the Hawthorns ever. Never, ever, ever do we win at the Hawthorns. And if there was ever going to be a season where we did something, we were going to win at the Hawthorns and we're going to beat Preston at home. So if there was ever a season we're going to do anything, those two sort of hoodoos that we have, we're going to get rid of them. And who knows? We've got Preston at home on the 4th of Jan, so watch this space. But up into 6 now, and it's weird because we've been pretty good performances wise, but the results haven't been there recently. But back-to-back wins, and we've gone from 9th to 6th. So Championship, but this hard run isn't over yet. This hard run is not over yet. We've got Millwall away, and then there's the grudge match.
Round two, ding ding, yeah.
Round two.
kept going about their fixture list of death or something.
Yeah. This is the final game.
Making light work of it. I noticed. Yeah.
Still
West Brom, Preston, the works.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
on the flip side, I know Annie's on cloud 9, as am I.
Mate, far from it. Stefan.
And he's drinking red wine tonight. But on the flip side, I am, and I've said this for a number of weeks as well, I'm feeling for Ryan Mason and West Brom. I'm thinking if he doesn't start picking up results, his time's going to be coming to an end.
Can I just say on Ryan Mason, I watched that game in full yesterday, and I couldn't really see what West Brom were trying to do. I didn't really see them try one thing, try to nail it, and that causes problems.
Yeah.
They tried to do a little bit of everything. They tried to go direct. They tried to play through the thirds. They tried to go sort of wide fullbacks and get them forward. They tried to do a little bit of everything. Marky Johnson switched flanks at points. Isaac Price dropped in. Isaac Price went forward. They tried a little bit of everything. Alex Mowat came on in the second half, and I thought he was pretty good, and definitely helped Albion. But I didn't really see one thing they were sort of good at, and I was like, there's sort of a jack of all trades team Albion, and that can do in the Championship if you just want to sort of be a steady Championship team. But West Brom don't want to be that. They want to be sort of challenging at the top end, and I didn't really see what. I don't know what are they trying to do, and I suppose Wild Smith didn't help in goal. I thought he was pretty horrendous, but it is what it is. And I'd agree with Stefan. I'm a little bit concerned for Mason now as well, because it's if you're 23 games, you're halfway through a season, and we still haven't got a clear sort of style of play. What we're trying to do here, what are we doing here?
I suspect we will give him the January transfer window, but if recruitment isn't right and results don't pick up, he'll be out of a job before the end of the season. Guaranteed. It all depends, for Ryan Mason, what happens in the January transfer window. How well the team recruit in the background will show if we can start to get results on the pitch. Because we're coming into that period in the Championship season. In fact, I think we're actually in it, where everything's frantic from now right through the January window, right through until May. It's going to be frantic, it's going to be fun. So buckle yourselves up, lads, because it's going to be one hell of a ride.
Can I just say finally on us, just to twist the conversation back around, we have had the mother of all injury crisis in this horrendous run as well. We've just had Jason Knight back. We've just got Neto Borges. Not Neto Borges, I'm completely lying. Rob Atkinson fully back. Mark Sykes fully back as well. So we've got 3 players back. We've got Adam Randall, who's played every single game in that midfield department. Mehmeti, who's played pretty much every single game. We've now not got Radek Vitek. Max O'Leary's playing instead, who's not played a minute this season. Yeah, granted, he played every single minute last season, but, a bit rusty. We are making do without Luke McNally, Joe Williams, Max Bird, 3 brilliant players who can, cause the opposition problems, be very good players. George Tanner as well. So we're doing this without our strongest squad available. We're in 6th place and we're in shooting distance of 3rd. I'm just trying to think if we can get these players back. Granted, some of them are longer term, but I don't know. We could really be in the conversation of solidifying a playoff place and not having the heartache of not heartache. I had heart issues last season while I was watching us in the run-in because it was painful. So I don't want that again. If we could solidify it quite easily, just solidify it. That would be nice. But yeah, any talk of a top 2 push is complete nonsense, and I just want to push.
Well, in you guys, Annie, but not in mine.
Stefan, don't even start. Don't even. Top 2, Christ.
Oh god!
All right, I'll go on for Annie then, just out of interest. I want to see what his answer is. What's more likely this, since we're both trying to shoot down our own club's prospects, what genuinely do you think has more chance of happening? Bristol City getting promoted this season or Sunderland finishing in a European place?
So you have to remind me, is it 7th for Europe minimum?
Yeah.
Yes.
Possibly, I think.
8th as well, actually, might do this season.
Because I still think it's more likely Bristol City go up. I think it depends on. I think it depends on our.
Michael, shut up, Michael. 8th. If you finish, you can finish 8th. Come on,
Annie, shut up.
No,
you can finish 8th.
you could finish 8th depending on the extra Champions League spot, and that's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
All right, then. Fair enough then. All right, let me rephrase the question. What's more likely, Bristol City going up or Bristol Rovers staying up? There you go. That's what I should have asked at the start.
Rovers staying up. I think they should stay up. But I'm not saying it would be amusing to see them get relegated again, but I may be saying that. But
right. So really, what he's doing is he's going. Well, I'm not saying it would be amusing to see Bristol stay up. It would be bloody hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like Annie sort of with the mask on, and then as soon as he takes it off and going, enjoy Gateshead away next season.
On a totally different subject, there's a big game for you lads tomorrow, and I can't call it between Leeds and Sunderland, guys.
Oh God, yeah. Well,
I mean, for Leeds, it's a pretty big one considering West Ham lost today, didn't they? So
yeah,
and when Forest lost as well. So I don't know. It's a weird one because if you asked me a few weeks ago, I'd have probably said I would have been very disappointed not to win. But I mean, even now, I think one way or another, it's going to be a close game.
But again, if you win, Michael, you climb a few places up the league again.
I repeat what Annie said before. Shut up. Well, you are right. I think the way I look at it is if we did manage to win tomorrow, I would go, right, 10 more points needed now. And then we're all right from there.
Yeah.
Yes, guys, I'm still going down the 40 points route until we actually reach it. So, although I will say in Carl's defense here, in a few weeks, he's going to be cheering us on big time because on the 24th of January, we go to West Ham. So I can imagine Carl's going to be going, have I got any red and white scarves anywhere? I'll just literally have me. He'll be going like up the bloody Sunderland, up the Mackhams, away. West Ham.
And on
Gal's side, win all their games since then it doesn't matter. But
on Gal's side, if Leeds win tomorrow, it's a march towards safety, I guess.
Pretty much is, yeah. And until we play against you guys after New Year's, I'm looking forward to that home game because I don't know which way that will come. So, as it's said.
Neither do I. Right in this moment, I don't really care, even though we beat Newcastle last night and Michael was probably cheering us on at the top of his voice. Even though we beat Newcastle last night, I must confess, I didn't watch the game. I just had the result come up on my phone.
did watch the game, to be fair. I did think Man United were, as much as I'm not going to pretend I was not happy at all to see Newcastle lose again, I did think Newcastle should have got something out of it, if I'm honest. I did think they should have got a point out of it. Here's my shout then. I don't know what happens tomorrow, but I've got a feeling Leeds will beat Man United next Sunday. Come back to that.
I would not.
At Ellen Road, because it's at Ellen Road.
Mm-hmm. I would not be surprised in the absolute slightest if Leeds beat Man U. I would not be surprised if players from both teams got sent off. I would not be surprised if there was controversy between the managers in that game. I would not be surprised at anything in that game, to be honest.
Here's one then, just to get the conversation back onto Bristol City, because I've got a genuine question I want to ask for Annie in a minute. You remember when you said you described this group of fixtures, because it was horrendous. I think you had, like, what was it? Remind me. Preston, Millwall,
No,
Middlesbrough,
it was not
West
Preston.
Brom.
You keep talking, I'll bring it up.
Okay. Well, the reason I was gonna, what I was gonna ask you. Oh, you've still got to play Preston. I've just seen this next Sunday. Ignore me then.
So Wrexham away, Pompey away, Millwall at home, Leicester at home, Coventry away, Middlesbrough at home, West Brom away, Millwall away.
Right. So, how do you view this next month coming up? Obviously, you got Millwall at the end of December, right? But then, but after in January, so Portsmouth at home, Preston at home. Okay, Watford at home in the cup. I don't know if you'll care too much about that. Oxford away, Ipswich away, Sheffield Wednesday at home, Derby County at home. That's your January, and then Hull away at the start of February. But your January fixture list, bar Ipswich, on paper looks quite favourable. But I guess where you could probably come back is this is Bristol City. We beat the teams near the top and then struggle against the teams that we need to be beaten to get in the top six. How do you feel about this month coming up fixture wise? After Millwall,
on paper it looks all right, doesn't it? It does look fine. Apart from Ipswich away, that looks a bit tricky. But apart from that, either home games or teams that are in the bottom three. Well, Oxford and Pompey in the bottom three. Yeah, Pompey in the bottom three. So. Oxford aren't actually, but you know what I mean. You know,
teams down the bottom 6 or 7.
Teams that are they're the bottom. So, I am looking at this upcoming block of fixtures after Millwall on the 29th and going, okay, but this is where you bank the points, because if you give yourselves a buffer, because that will take us into, as you said, the start of Feb, and that is you'd have done most of the hard work by that point, and that's when the run-in takes the mould its place. And you have to remember, this run that we have is going to come back in March. So in March we have Coventry at home, Leicester away, Borough away, and West Brom at home. So arguably tougher fixtures, and Sheffield United at home. So
yeah, okay.
You have this run that comes back. So yeah, okay, naturally evens itself out in terms of fixture difficulty on paper. But we have to bank this run of fixtures, and we have to be looking at targeting 2 points per game, and getting as close to that as possible. Because if we can do that, then you're starting to look at a conversation of nailing down a top 6 place, and that would be pretty good.
If you got to 50 points by the end of January, would you take that now? You're on 36 at the minute, so that'll be 14 points across this next month.
How many fixtures are in Jan?
Well, obviously, assume for a second you lose away at Millwall, right? You're looking at. Hang on.
Yeah.
Should have probably brought this up again, shouldn't I? So in January you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So by the end of the Derby game, we would have been on round 30. And that would mean we have, if we said 50 points
after the Derby game.
After round 30, 50 points is...
So basically you've got 6 games in January, league games. So that would be 14 points out of a possible 18.
Hang on. 50 divided by 30 times 46. 77 points is what we'd be projecting at that point. Yeah, I'd take that. Yeah, I think that would be pretty good. Yeah, that'd be pretty decent.
Because I'd imagine that the buffer to finish 6th might be a bit higher this season.
Maybe a couple of points higher.
I mean, not massively. Yeah, not to the point where it's going to be 10 extra points, but like.
No.
What did you finish on? Was it 68 points?
68 was ridiculously low. I mean, we're really lucky to get in. Yeah.
Yeah. Strikes when we got in. What was it under Tony Mowbray 2.5 years ago?
69, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's uncommonly low for 6th place. So yeah. I think if you got to around 50 points by the end of January, then I think you're in a really good place for that, because then you've essentially got 3 months to get up to 25 points if you're looking at just getting 6th.
Yeah, exactly. But I think this group of players is capable of more than just sneaking in there. I think we are. I think we really are. So here's
the group of players is capable of getting second. Is that what he's saying?
Fingers well and truly crossed. Not what Michael just said, but definitely getting in the playoffs.
He is not budging, and I love it.
If we're second, if we're a few points off second by the run-in, then I'll have a conversation with you about second place. But that's not happening, so let's not talk about that.
All right.
Fair enough, then.
Right. Getting on to the last fixture, and well, I did not expect this game was going to be a bloody comebacks and comebacks, but Wrexham win against Sheffield United 5-3, where Kiefer Moore scored twice against his club.
No. 3 times.
It
A hat trick.
could have been a hat trick, yeah. Fair.
No, it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, somehow in the gut from
Moore got 3, Longman got 1, and so did Windass.
But because Biden scored an own goal in the 9th minute, that don't count. So
yeah, Bindon scored an own goal. That doesn't count.
Yeah, don't count.
According to the EFL, yeah.
Oh God! Right, Stefan. Let's bring it to you. What a good win for Wrexham, and give us your take on it.
What a game! Where do I start? Obviously, Patrick Bamford's first goal was absolutely beautiful. The way he took it with it outside his boot on some kind of volley scissor whatever it was, kick over after a Conco. Now, I know I was waxing lyrical about a Conco last week with his hot potatoes and things like that, but honestly, you cannot prevent those goals. You just cannot prevent. That was just pure skill from Bamford. However, his second goal could have been prevented, but our defence was sleeping a little bit, and Bamford just took his late Christmas present and stuck it in the net. Then I think Kiefer Moore gave Sheffield United another Christmas gift when he inadvertently flicked on the long throw and O'Hare got it and stuck it in the back of the net. Then the miracle of all miracles started now in that point where Sheffield United scored the 3 goals. We did score 1, however, as I'm being pointed out by Annie and Carl, miraculously, it was the winning own goal. However, me being me, I would have given it to Kiefer, but no. EFL rules state that it was an own goal, so there was no hat trick.
If the shot was on target, right, he would have had a hat trick. If the shot was on target, and Annie can back me on. If the shot was on target, right.
I know. I'm just digressing, but yeah, the comeback started with that own goal from Dibang. Then Wrexham just went on some kind of supercharge. Now I don't know what Parky done at halftime, but I'm sure he would have dropped the famous few F-bombs in that dressing room, told the players what he wanted them to do in the second half. Obviously, I can't repeat it because it's Parky and he does swear. But whatever he said worked because Kiefer Moore got 2 goals. One was a penalty and one was a great goal. Josh Windass and Ryan Longman got the others, which gave us a 5-3 victory. Bear in mind, we were 3-1 down. I'll stress that again. 3-1 down. Now, the difference between Wrexham's owners and Wrexham to Birmingham is we just want to consolidate this year. Now, that silly computer, Opta, gave us a 0.2% chance of staying in the division. We were meant to be the whipping boys of said division, even though we spent nearly £40 million in the summer. And apparently we've got another 10 or 20 million to spend in January.
Jesus, he raised Annie's eyebrows there with that one.
So
He's like, what?
even when you think, by come into January, we could have nearly spent 50 or 60 million pounds. Easy.
For a team
In
that's come up
wages.
from League One
Yeah,
upwards, that is crazy money.
exactly. Now, when you think about it, our biggest rivals in the Championship were set to be the big battle with big spenders, Birmingham City. However, that hasn't really panned out in the way everyone thought because they were meant to storm, we were meant to be win boys, but it's not panned out that way. And when you look at our next set of fixtures, which I'll just bring up, and by the way, Annie, we play you in the second week of February, so come on February. I just looked at that. We play you in the second week of February at Ashton Gate, so that's going to be fun. But looking at our January, we've got Blackburn at Ewood Park, Derby at Pride Park, Nottingham Forest in the Cup, which, if we get a cup run, it would be amazing because it would bring yet more coffers to the club, but the cup's just an added bonus. Norwich at the Stoke Rias, Leicester at the Stoke Rias. Now we've already beaten Leicester, which was exciting. So I reckon we could do that again. QPR at Loftus Road, or whatever we're calling the stadium these days, and Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough. Now, that to me looks a bit of a mixed bag. Some fixtures look quite favourable in terms of Sheffield Wednesday, dare I say it, Blackburn and controversial, but Leicester. I reckon we could take Leicester. And I know Ant's probably sitting somewhere in the doldrum backgrounds thinking, he's probably right. Wrexham are above Leicester for a reason. And then, I just can't wait till we get on to the, when is it? February the 13th, Annie, is going to be the crucial day when Wrexham visit Ashton Gate. And the battle lines are drawn, my friend. But no, taking up away.
You've already beaten us once this season, Stefan. I wouldn't put anything past it, mate.
Exactly. I know I watched that game on Sky. I just didn't want to rub it in, my friend. That's all. I was just
Mate,
That's
don't worry.
nonsense.
No,
I didn't want to rub it in my backside.
Oh, yeah.
Stefan, just have one look at the league table, mate. Is all I'm going to say.
But honestly, taking up number yesterday, what a game to start the Boxing Day round of fixtures. And we're 13th now, we're looking upwards in the table. And our next fixture, oh God, it's against Paul Higginbottom. Whoopee! Whoopee!
That is brilliant. That's an unbelievable reaction.
Yeah.
But of course,
Paul
me knowing Paul Higginbottom's teams from his time at Hibs with us, that's going to be tricky. Yes, it's at home. Yes, it's at the Stoke Rias, but as we all know, we only took a point off them last time. So I reckon that's going to be tricky. I hope Kiefer Moore's on top form that day because we're going to need him. And yeah, I can't wait to see what the January transfer window brings to Wrexham. There's already some rumours in the fire on the Wrexham YouTube channels, but nothing more than a few rumours because we were linked with Will James, and by some miraculous defeat of something, he's now in the Leicester shirt. Why? He's Welsh. Bring him home. That's what I said at the time, but he's now playing for Leicester. And yes, he scored a cracker yesterday, but
Well, it's all right. If to be fair, if you want to sign Wolverine at right back, Deadpool at left back, then you know, Lady Deadpool centre half, and then Nice Deadpool the other centre half.
The whole Greatest Showman cast as well and all that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Anything Hugh
yeah.
Jackman in it.
I'll give you that. I mean, if we still had Paul Mullen in our ranks, which we could come into the season because he's only on one at Wigan, by the way. So,
Oh, there's another striker they have.
so if he,
Yeah.
so
Maybe
if
not
he,
quite at their disposal at the minute, but yes, on their books technically, yes.
I mean, he was in Deadpool Wolverine. Paul Mullen actually.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Deadpool, there you go. Well, fun fact for all you Wrexham fans out there.
Can I just say that Andy looks like, I don't know if Andy's into the Marvel sort of universe films, but he's looking like going, oh no, they're talking geek culture. Never
Yeah.
get me out of here.
And I believe he still has his Deadpool suit. I know that Ryan Reynolds one is in the Wrexham Museum,
So
but
that's why
Oh,
Keeper Moore's
yeah.
doing well. He's got Deadpool superpowers.
I believe Paul Mullen got to keep his Deadpool suit.
Yes, Annie, I'm insane.
God, we're going to be talking about Iron Man in a minute.
But no,
Captain
honestly,
America. There you go.
Captain Patrick Agyemang being Captain America.
Yeah.
but no, honestly, getting away from the Marvel versus DC side.
Oh, what? This is quite funny, this. Doing like a Marvel Cinematic Universe 11 for the championship.
It was an absolutely great result to kick off
It was, yeah.
fixtures, and honestly, I would take 13th place right now. But next week we'll probably be back in 16th, so I'm enjoying it while it lasts.
Can I just say, just to add to it, with Wrexham winning yesterday.
See, that photo, I know exactly where that photo is taken, and I don't like it one bit.
So put that photo up again. Put it up one more time.
No,
Just
I don't want to see it. I don't
no,
want
no,
to see it.
I want to see.
Right, Andy, close your eyes. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Chris Wilder, put your hands up if you're not a very good manager. Nah, to be fair, I think it's obviously is a great win, isn't it? It's probably going to you'd be surprised if there's a more no, I'll take that back. I was going to say I would be surprised if there's a more mental game than that in the Championship, but then I realised what I was saying. It's the Championship, so no, of course I will be surprised. So we'll wait and see. Maybe Bristol City Wrexham. Maybe that'll be the more mental game maybe that'll be the most mental, like random 5-5 game.
That's a game on Valentine's Day weekend as well.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot. So this is the,
Hey,
So-
Dollar, what do you fancy doing? Do you want to watch Bristol City versus Wrexham on Valentine's Day? And I can imagine Annie's reaction coming out of Ashton Gate going, well, I thought Valentine's was meant to be spent with your love, and I love Bristol City, but they didn't love me back because they lost to Wrexham.
yeah.
Oh, what's the word called? Unrequited love, I think it's called. It's a
Something like that. Yeah.
one-way relationship, something like that. No,
Unconditional love, Annie. Unconditional love.
right, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
At least one good thing for Annie, though. At least Bristol Rovers, Bristol City in the FA Cup, I believe, can't happen now. So,
Well, that was never going to happen. They had to win for that. They don't win, do they?
well, exactly. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Going to it, I know we're going to decide on our Championship Manager of the Year so stuff as it's
Oh, I haven't thought about that. Try not.
Yeah, I know. But let me give you time. I'm going to go through the table, so it gives us a bit of time with that one. So,
Okay.
as I said, nothing's changed at the top of the table between Coventry and Middlesbrough, but Bristol City moved up to 6th after Millwall draw against Ipswich, but Watford are now behind them in 8th place. At the bottom of the table, like I said, Oxford United out of the relegate out of the bottom 3 with Portsmouth getting a point, but Norwich were the only team in the bottom 3 to get a win as well. They're now a point behind both of those clubs as well. And yeah, as I say, Sheffield United are now below Blackburn Rovers as well. So yeah, that is a table for the last time in 2025. So it gives us some time to decide on our Championship Manager of the Year. We can include the managers from last season, including the promoted like Scott Parker, Daniel Farker, and Reggie Lebree. We will add those on as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is a hard one. I could add. I'm going to add Frank Lampard in
I've
there.
got a couple of names in mind to get going if it helps.
Yeah, go on then.
Right. So I think I'm going to try and not include the ones from last season.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at ones that have been in the Championship from what I can remember the whole year. So if I've got any wrong, please correct me. But the names that stand out to me, the obvious one, obvious one for me is Frank Lampard, with what he's done with Coventry, with the run last season and how stupidly good they've been this season. And two unsung shouts that I don't think get mentioned often enough, but I'd say Alex Neil at Millwall. I think he's one of them. And I would say the other one is probably Paul Heckingbottom at Preston.
yeah.
I think they would be my three shouts off the top of my head. I
I
might
would
think of
say-
another one, but that's who I
yeah,
would go.
I
Any
would.
of them three I'd go with.
I would agree with that one because I can't think of any other managers.
I'd add Jukurovic to that whole manager. He's done
Yeah.
a brilliant job.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good shout. Yeah, you can reach
Enjoy
as
it.
well. Yeah, as well actually.
And for comedic reasons for Annie, Liam Manning.
Well, no, I would have said Manning.
Right, sorry, the first half of the year,
Yeah.
good reasons.
Yeah.
The second half of the year, comedic reasons for Annie. I should have rephrased that.
Yeah, there we go.
One of the
But,
other managers that I could put in is John Mousinho, especially what he did last season. After,
If Portsmouth were nearer like the top 6 or something, I would agree with you. I think just on
but
this,
I can understand what you're going to
Yeah.
say with that one. Yeah,
but last season, yeah, I can understand what you're saying based on last season. But if you ask him, well, all right then, go on, Annie. Have you got any ideas? Who do you?
Miron Muslic, Plymouth last season. He did a cracking job.
Taking them down, then buggering off.
No,
he's doing quite well at Schalke.
yeah, well, that's I suppose it's not. Well, I just threw that in there for tongue in cheek purposes.
Fine, Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, take it too far.
That's too far. Yeah,
Wayne
But
Rooney. Why not?
no, I think I'd agree with Lampard, Heckingbottom, Neil, Jukurovic. I think if we're parking Lebris,
If you're including teams off last year, then I would say Lebris is right up there. But
Yeah.
I think
yes,
Lebris is right up there. But if you're looking at team people that have been in the Championship the whole year, then
yeah, but we're not talking about Lebris right now in terms
No.
of having Sunderland in the top half of the Prem. That's invalid.
yeah,
That's
it's
not in the
obviously, I know
Championship.
it is.
So-
Yeah, if we're talking
so-
Lebris, it's just getting promoted.
Promotion. That's obviously
Which is still a
unbelievable.
great
Yeah.
achievement, to root against, yeah. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, all right,
But
then, I'll tell you what, then. Why don't you try? Here's a chance. Try and see if you can pick your top 3.
I think Lampard's is going to be top of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got to be.
Yeah, Heckingbottom's going to be the second. I think. Yeah,
that's probably about right. Given Preston's budget and given everything else, but I think Neil having. Bear in mind Millwall when he came in. I think when he took over from Neil Harris, they were nearer the bottom. 3 of
exactly.
them, weren't
Yeah,
they?
I would say.
And they just missed out on the playoffs on the final day.
Yeah, I would
Now,
say.
they're
those are
more
the
than
top.
holding their own.
Yeah,
At the top end of the division. So I think that would be my 3. Yeah, I think I'd agree with the list, Danny. It's just
that's my
ranking
top
Danny's
3. Yeah,
Lampard, Heckingbottom, and Neil. That would be my
Yeah.
3 in that order. But if anyone feels to disagree, then go for it.
I'd
My-
go.
My 3's slightly different.
Go on then.
Only slightly.
Is Phil Parkinson amongst this by any chance?
No.
Okay, I was just checking. Well, go on then.
No, because he's not been in the Championship a whole year. He came up from week 1, so no. So I would say Lampard, Mark Robbins, for the job he done with, obviously, Coventry, and now the job he's doing at Stoke, and go on, Paul Heckingbottom, because he's
There's
teams are
one-
so
there's-
difficult to beat.
yeah. There's one manager I would like to consider is John Eustace.
Yeah, that was another one I was thinking of.
Yeah, especially I'm
Um,
just thinking about looking at the team. I'm thinking, no, Derby as well. Thinking, yeah,
But not
he
even
took a
that, though.
big
He had Blackburn. I mean, I know he was
Yeah,
at Blackburn, I
yeah.
think, at the very start of the year, but
Yeah.
only for about a few weeks. But he had them competing near the playoffs. When you
Yeah.
look at what the trouble behind the scenes is and the lack of resources to work with. And then, let's be honest, he kept that Derby team up last season, which is pretty good going, I would say. And then obviously he's got them within touching distance of the playoffs. I'll tell you, here's a banter one for Manager of the Year. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but you'll see why in a minute. Chris Wilder, because he got Sheffield United third on 92 points, got sacked, got paid off, then got the job back. So, from his point of view, he's done really well there.
But his record, just in general, this calendar year has been pretty decent, hasn't it? It's
It has to be fair. Yeah.
pretty good. So
yeah.
no, I do agree. I think my top 3 would be Lampard, Heckingbottom, and Jukurovic. I think that would be my top 3. I think Alex Neil. Yeah, I think he probably probably tied with Jurkovic in terms of job.
You'd
job
certainly
role.
put Alex Neil top 5 at least, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And another one for comedic value, just for his record at Sheffield United, Ruben Selles.
Do you know, you actually look at it, he actually didn't do a bad job at Hull, did he?
No.
No.
But at
Sheffield
Sheffield
United.
United was
For
just an
Sheffield
absolute
United,
car crash, wasn't it?
comedic value, it was woeful. It was rubbish. I think there was no wins. There was a couple of draws, but other than that,
Which is weird because I still stand by that the first half they had on the opening day against Bristol City was actually really, really good. But then they end up losing 4-1. So it
not
just
know
doesn't
how
matter,
we won
does
that
it?
game 4-1.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so it's been a crazy 2025 for the Championship, hasn't it?
It has
Seven-
been.
7 managerial changes this season already, not this calendar year, but this season.
That's the most it's been, actually.
That's already. You know what we haven't talked about? Gary Rowett going out of Oxford. I think he also could have been in the conversation for this. If this obviously if he didn't get sacked, that'd be helpful. But if he had Oxford sort of just above and maybe
Upper bottom third, like say 17th or 18th or something.
something like that.
Yeah.
I think he'd be in this conversation. But yeah, that's gone.
It doesn't change the job he did last season, because last season for me the job he did was
no.
outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, just this season just hasn't gone particularly. That's why I didn't mention him, just because this season hasn't, and obviously the fact he's no longer there. But like this season hasn't gone well for him. But if you'd asked at the end, I think we did this at the end of last season, and I said that Gary Rowett would be an unsung shout. So maybe revisit at the end of the season and see who everyone's at. And just be clear, we don't do ours until with 2 weeks of the season and the playoffs to go. We wait until the season's properly done first.
Yeah.
Then you say who you think could be. So for all we know, we could be saying Gerard Struber is the manager of the year because he's got Bristol City winning the playoffs. We don't know. It could be Kim Hellberg. We don't know how it could be. We'll wait. We'll find out one way or
Could
another.
be Rob Edwards.
Yeah. His record in the Championship this year was actually pretty good, wasn't it? He was only at Luton for 2 games of the first 2 games of 2025, and then he was doing Borough before he jumped ship.
There we go.
It would be quite calmer, wouldn't it, though, if Wolves got relegated and Borough got promoted?
I think you mean when Wolves get relegated.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know. Well, when I say if, I more meant Borough. I know
Yeah.
Wolves are going to go down. I mean, if Borough swap places with Wolves,
Wolves currently have the record points total of all points totals in the Premier League.
All right, here's one.
A great points total of 2.
2 points.
I was going to say it's always amusing seeing a fan of normally it's Wolves going after every of the recent defeats tweeting going we might be in serious trouble here and they're like 20 points adrift.
I'm like,
we might be in serious trouble.
Yeah, like, you're looking up like,
You can just write the sentence and go, we're in serious trouble after losing to insert new team name here who's beaten Wolves. Here's one then. Here's a fascinating question before we go. Is Derby's Premier League records point tally finally going to be broken this season?
Yes. For the sake of Derby, it's going to happen.
I've still got a feeling it won't be.
Why?
I was utterly convinced Southampton were going to do it because they were atrocious last season.
Exactly.
But even they managed to avoid it.
But they managed to avoid it because they got to a point in the season where they've already been relegated. It's all but confirmed, and they just started to pick up points, and they just managed to find a way to.
I could kind of see happening with Wolves.
Get a bit of freedom at the end where you go, we're already down, and because Wolves...
but come on. But at least Southampton is not going through a bit of an issue when they're fighting against the fans are fighting against their players like Wolves are at the moment.
Having said that, to be fair, Southampton did also have also won a game by this point last season.
Exactly, they did.
But okay, put it this way: I would not put it past Wolves' first win being against West Ham next Saturday.
Oh Jesus!
Wouldn't put it past it, and that's how bad it would be for West Ham.
I don't see it. I can't see that. I have a feeling
you should want it for you guys. It would be great if that happened.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair point. I'd rather take a draw. Yeah.
Wolves aren't staying up, Carl. Come
on. I'm saying a draw. But you
should be wanting Wolves to win that.
United.
Is it because you wanting a draw just so West Ham don't try and close the gap to you, but also you're going to be right about Wolves breaking Derby's points?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fair enough.
Bear in mind, Southampton got relegated with 12 points. There's a 10-point difference between Southampton getting relegated and Wolves getting relegated. If Wolves somehow get relegated with 2 points, like what's happening in the world of football?
Yeah, it's gonna. It'd be weird if they went through the whole season without winning a game.
I think if they manage to somehow get relegated with 2 points, I think we're having some serious question marks over that Wolves sort of players.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I would think that it would take something monumentally bad now to,
I know.
Not picking up a single point from now until the end of the season. Come on.
and also to
know,
not win a
but-
single game as well.
But this could conceivably happen, guys.
No, it could. I mean, I think it would. Put it this way: if the team we started the playoff final with, would have absolutely gone down if that had been our team in the Prem this season. Based on the character of that team, though, I would have even backed that team to get more points than this Wolves team.
Well,
Not by many, but
2 points. I mean, come on. You somehow.
Yeah.
But you would think, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But if you look at the, hang on, let me quickly get the playoff final starting 11 team.
Well, I've got the results from Southampton's last season. So the
Go on
first
then, let's
win
hear it.
was against Everton on the 2nd of November. By this time already, Wolves had not won a game. And then Southampton's second win was against Ipswich Town on the 1st of February this year. And they didn't win any more games after that.
Right, so hang on. So here's the right. So right, okay then. I'll read this team out that started against Sheffield United. Obviously, Luke O'Nien did start, but he went off after 2 minutes, so I'll say Chris Meffam instead, because he played most of the game. But see if you guys think this team would beat Wolves' would at least be better than Wolves. So it's Patterson, Hume, Ballard, Meffam, Sirkin, Rigg, Neal, Bellingham, Mundell, Lafay, and Mayenda.
Yeah,
Yes.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it would go down, but it would, like, at the very least,
I mean, we'd have won a game by now. Joking.
Anybody would have won a game against Wolves by now.
I know. Come on.
Okay, do you know what,
Anybody.
mate? From my this won't happen, but from my point of view, it would be the most hilarious thing ever if their first win was their home game against Newcastle in a couple of weeks. I think it's like is it the 14th of?
I think we can talk about Wolves in more detail next season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, guys. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's just how do you manage to beat that shit?
And potentially West Ham as well. So there we go.
Tell you what, I'd be really worried about West Ham in the Championship. They went down.
And if West Ham want to send us Georgia, I think that would be very nice too.
Even Rudolph says Wolves are going down. Look.
That does not look like reindeer antlers to me there.
Well, it is.
Well, I gathered that, but I'll not say any more. The positioning of them looks a bit precarious.
Right, let's end the stream.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for watching, everyone. See you later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you everyone very much, especially the last 12 months here for the Championship review, and especially this was our first Boxing Day special. We're looking forward to see you guys on the other side and in 2026. And listen, have a wonderful new year. We'll see you guys back next Sunday. After New Year, I guess I'm working on Saturday, but I'll be back on Sunday. But this is the last time we'll be using Evil Mooks for the last time. I'm done with this crap. After the technical issues I had today on the Saturday show with Michael didn't know it as well. But we are moving on to Streamlines for next Sunday, so which means the system will be more better. At least it will be no technical issues going forward. So, but like I said, thank you very much for everyone for messaging in as well, and especially the last 12 months has been really grateful, especially on the Championship review with myself, Michael, and also Stefan joining us this season as well. So, like I said, looking forward to see you guys in 2026 around next Sunday at 8 p.m. here on the Total Leaving Home Football Podcast. Have a wonderful new year, guys. We'll see you again. Thank you very much for watching. It's goodbye from us.
Take care.
Bye.